some concepts for you guys to understand. So one thing that a lot of people, when they first get into it, they're like, oh, this game has chains, right? The thing that people don't realize... Dude, this game has sick netcode. Dude, a 3-bar connection is actually more like a 4.5 bar connection. It's really good. But yeah, so when people do chains, they have to realize that if you run in, you get different... You can do a full chain of 3. So you can do like that. Right? And the thing, when you do a chain, it can be any sequence of normals. It can be all punches, can be all kicks, can be a mix, but it has, as long as it's light, medium, heavy. So you can do, let me see an example. What's the reset button? Okay, this is the reset. Shit. No, I don't want to record. Oh, that's record. Oh, so this is just neutral back. Okay, gotcha. So you can run in and do heavy punch if you want. And this is standing or crouching. So either or, right? And usually you want to end in a normal that's cancelable. So for Kari, Crouch Fierce, Stand Fierce is not. You can also end in low forward, right? You don't have to do Fierce. But basically the idea is, if you're just standing, you can only chain usually 2 normals. Because the third one will whiff. You see that? Sweep will whiff too. Unless you have, like, I guess if you're really close. Oh, even then. But if you run in, you get momentum, because you see it, so as soon as I run in, I get a little slide. And that's basically for combos to hit further. So that's why you can get like this. And you get combo, full damage, right? And this is true for every character. It's character specific, yeah, but in general, this is a good general rule to think about, right? There are a few instances that break the rules, of course, but just a general overview. Thank you, though, Bruce. Who is it for you, Bruce? Is it Crackerjack? Does he break that rule, and in what way? Because I'd like to know. Also, DPs are pretty much all invincible. Like Alan and Kari have probably the best anti-air with DP. They're 100% invincible. Some DPs like Garudas are invincible at the beginning or on wake up, but not after the invulnerable frames are over. So it's not the best for anti-airing, but it's still good on wake up, if that makes sense. And one other thing about the chain system is that when you do a unique attack, no, Cracker doesn't? Okay, so when you do a unique attack, like for example, Kari has forward medium kick, right? Anytime you do a chain and do something, a unique attack does not count towards your counter for 3. So it doesn't count as a light, medium, or heavy, it counts as its own attack. So after you do a 3-hit string, or chain, you can cancel into your unique attack. And that's how you can do, like, super cancel like that, right? And it's really good for air combos too. So like, Akari is a bad example, but when Alan gets an air juggle with like triple break, for example, you can do run in. And since Alan doesn't have any good heavies or heavy kicks that can lead to full combos that easily, you can do end on heavy kick and end in his forward medium kick, which is special cancelable and which is super cancelable, right? What else here? Oh yeah, and so another thing about the game. So after wake up, let's say. So Kashimmying is a big part of this game, okay? Like if you look at when I whiff a throw, how long I have to hold that throw animation, right? So shimmying is a big part of this game. And you shimmy with either like tick throw setups, which are pretty easy to set up. You just have to worry if you run in or not. Because if you run in, you still keep the momentum if you shimmy them, right? So here, let's set him all to guard. After the first hit, it means he'll always block, and I'm gonna get thrown. Okay. So when you run in, it's hard to shimmy them, so you can do a chain. Yeah. So when you run in, you see how much of the sliding affects my throw game? So you can do 3 hits in that situation, right? But if you're walking, if you're just standing, you can usually do like a medium and then the throw a whiff. Jab doesn't push back that much. So you'll actually still get thrown in most cases, right? Usually, and 2 lights, if they're instantly throwing, it'll blow up your lights. Because you can chain technically, but most normals are minus on block. So there's not really anything that's plus. Usually some heavy buttons are plus. There is a frame data app on Google Play, so you can look it up, or on iTunes. It's just called, just type in Fighting EX Layer, and then the icon is a symbol of Skullomania. The fastest normal is 4 frames, usually it's your stand jab. usually. Some characters also have a crouching jab that's 4 frames, not Kairi though, unfortunately. But that's why, because the thing is, if you do, so the reason why chains are really good and why some normals aren't the greatest to chain together is because since normals are minus on block, if you do a chain, it's actually a block string. Right? So he couldn't tech out of that, but if I did like crouch light kick into jab, I'm getting thrown through it. So that's a very important thing to realize, right? And so how you want to shimmy, if you do a medium, and then you can whiff punish or let the throw whip. You can also do the Street Fighter style. You can do a neutral jump and then bait as well. It's the same kind of idea. You can also do certain Gogi decks allow you certain movement options that can avoid throws too. Like I can show you real quick. You can change the Gogi in training mode, so and characters. So you don't have to go to character select. So Stealth Raptor, for example, when you have it activated, it's called Hunting. It gives you a hop, a short hop, and you can do an air normal after that. So you can do this, hop forward, and then cancel it. Let's see if I can do it on this pad. Yeah, you can do something like that. Also, if you're fast enough, you can cancel into super, and then you get a full. Yeah, I can't do this on this pad. Yeah, it's really difficult. Wait, let's see. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, anyway, that's the basic idea. So that's another way to shimmy. Also, you can do the classic Street Fighter way. So you like hit a button, or sorry, you hit a button, you walk back, hit a button. But if you do it too close, again, right? And you can also do something that's like cancel, right? Obviously, it's gonna blow it up in any fighting game, right? So yeah, if you learn your spacing for this, you can blow up throws, which is very important because throwing feels weak in this game, but it's a really good way to condition and make them throw tech, right? Because most characters get setups on throws, like especially Kairi. You can jump in, do Tatsu, cross up, right? But throws have good priority. I believe it's instant startup. I believe it's near instant. None of that Street Fighter 5 frames for startup for a throw. Let's see here. Guard here. So standing light punch. And you set up whiff punishes the same way too, right? So, well, let's say, what's a common one he'll use on block? So I'll use crouching medium kick. And yeah, you don't record in this game either. You just literally you pick the button you want them to use, or the move, and then they'll do it. There is a record option as well for general recording, but if you just want a setting after wake up, after guard, it'll just automatically do it for you, right? And you do it the same way as Street Fighter. You set up your spacing, whiff punish, right? Kairi probably can't whiff punish that well with that situation. Maybe not. Whoops. Try to set one up now. I guess and then you can technically do this. Maybe. Yeah, you need to be. It's the basic idea, though. Actually, you can probably do this. Yeah, there you go. And then you can cancel that into super. If you're good enough. There you go. So Kairi has a lot of options, too. I am only using these characters because they're very straightforward, and they have, like, Shoto tools, so they're pretty easy to pick up. Like, Kairi has a Tatsu, he has an uppercut, he has a fireball, right? Same basic idea, okay? He has an air super fireball, and he has a air super dive kick, and he actually has a dive kick with down medium kick. You just press down and medium kick, and he'll dive kick at any jump. And you can combo it too, you just have to do it at the range where it hits like the leg, right? And then he has a quarter circle motion on the ground, double quarter circle back punch, we'll do this one, and this is basically the super you'll do on the ground, right? Another thing, so people get annoyed when opponents jump like crazy, right? So what you can actually do, because this is a bad situation, and a lot of newer players get stuck in this situation here. So I'm going to set corner, left. Position reset. Okay, good. I'm in the corner. Alright, so I'm gonna record the opponent. Basically, he's going to knock me down. And then... like, how do you beat this, right? A lot of people do this a lot to like pressure you for free, to bait a throw, and then the jump in's gonna hit you, they're gonna combo, you're gonna die, all that sort of stuff. It's like basic, you know, fighting game etiquette, right? Like, how the fuck do you beat this, right? Some anti-airs will trade, it's too slow, whatever it is. Like, if they give you a space to do it, you can definitely anti-air. And usually you can't jump up air throw. It's hard to air too, sometimes. I'm trying to air nothing's working. Jump medium kick is probably your best sometimes. Even jump light kick is pretty good. But jump medium kick jump in is really hard to deal with. One option people don't use though, which I want to show you, is the moment they jump you run out the corner briefly. So you immediately side switch, right? If your character has a move that moves them forward too, that's also a really good choice. And you can get a cross-up trade sometimes too. You could combo in some cases. Once I get knocked down. And you want to do it like when they go to the air, because like you can't spam jumps. Like some jumps they're fast, but they always have counters and ways to deal with, right? And of course DP works too, right? And even the cross up. And the thing to note too is that if you're in the corner, there's no way for you to be crossed up. I'll show you here because I can't get over him. And there's nothing that I can really do to get over. He has to create space for me to jump over him, or else I have to like back throw him, and then I can get behind him. But that's about it, right? So corner is really strong, but it's a little simpler than Street Fighter because it's not as, you don't have to guess left or right. You just have to kind of focus on like how they're trying to open you up, which is kind of nice in a way, right? Another problem that some people have is in neutral. So basically what happens is that, how can I record this here? Because what a lot of people do, let me just set this back. So go to center. So what a lot of people do in neutral, so they're looking for a spot, way to open you up. And I do this to some people because I want to see if they can block low, and I want to try to open them up, right? Especially it's really good if the timer's counting down. So usually you just run in low, right? I'll have to get hit by it first. So you go after second hit. Let's turn recovery on, sure. Okay. You just run up low, you get a chain, you get full super, combo, big damage just for a run up low, right? And that looks cheap, okay? It looks cheap when you don't know what to do or how to avoid it. Because if the only thing you can do is block low, that means you can't really walk, right? That's not necessarily true, okay? Because the thing is, when you run, even if you stop instantly, you're committed to like giving up screen space or giving up some sort of control, right? Especially if you hit a button, which a lot of people do. Like this is a very common new string to do, right? When you're learning the game, is run up, light kick, crouch light kick into the heavy kick chain. Even like dash up medium or standing light kick. Okay. The most common chain you'll see newer players doing, and then when they get better, they'll do like something that's like cancelable, and then they'll do a super, big damage, whatever it is, or even just a special, right? Let me see here. Like that, for example, or even just fireball, if I can do it. So much harder. There you go. And then go into super, more damage, knockdown, all that sort of stuff. So how you can defeat this strategy that a lot of people try to get away with. And this will blow even top players up, because top players want to run in. They want to test you, right? This is a common way to open people up in Fighting X Layer. So how you can defeat it. I'll have them record. Okay. And so how you can defeat this is you literally just jump. if you're gonna run at you. If you neutral jump, you get a cross up. And you can sort of like kind of preemptively stay in the air, because this will beat a lot of stuff. Even if they try to walk up. The only way they can kind of beat a neutral jump bait is if they like DP you or if they super you. And the thing is, when players get much better at the game, they're going to be looking for your neutral jumps to bait your run in low, right? So there's a counter for everything in this game, like most fighting games. So I'm just reacting, right? And you can just punish every time. And the thing is, they're already committed to the string, right? Because the thing is, on whiff, part of it will still come out, right? So blow them up pretty free. You can also jump forward if you want to as well. Another good option too is sometimes the backdash to like make it whiff. So here, let me try to do it on reaction. Yeah, it's a little harder. You have to be further back. But yeah, definitely the most valid option is to jump. Backdashing is a little hard. Usually you can backdash for like certain normals. But yeah, I would recommend the easy option, just to neutral jump. Punish. Oh, almost got the full combo. Anyway, so that's one option there. What's another problem that people deal with? Hey Mad King, what's going on? I like your emote. One of my favorites. Trying to see here. Oh, and DPs. So, actually, not DPs, but anti-air. Really important. This is an important mechanic to understand. So, if you have a move, I'm doing really good. I'm playing Fexel, showing up some high-level lessons and tips. So, for anti-air stuff, or air-to-air stuff, so when you land a normal, you can actually cancel that normal that you hit into an air special if you have one. If you don't have one, you can also do an air super that can work as well. So for example, Kairi can do Tatsu in the air. You can also do Fireball, Super Fireball in the air, or the Super Dive Kick, right? So a high level thing to do is when you air to air, you cancel into another move, right? So you hit, you get Tatsu, you can juggle, okay? And then if you're good at timing it, maybe I can get this off. You can do super after the Tatsu as well, right? There you go. Something like that. That's probably not the right situation, but... Oh, it's really hard on this pad. Ah, almost. Anyway, that's the basic idea, right? You can also go straight into super, if you wanted to. It's really hard on this pad. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, God. There you go. Basic idea. And also from your crouch anti-airs, usually, like crouch fierce, which is usually the most characters' best anti-air. Some characters have really good like medium punches for anti-airing. The medium kick is probably really good for far range anti-air. And usually pretty active. It's a little slower though. The crouch fierce is definitely your best go-to. And some characters can really capitalize off of the crouch fierce. So if you land one, you can just go into fireball. You can go into DP. You can go into Tatsu. And that's a juggle, by the way. That's a juggle. That's a damn good... Actually, that's a damn good juggle. You just time it late. That's pretty damn good. And then you can go into super. If I can do it. Oh my god. That was on the ground. Oh my god, please. One more time. Yeah. There you go. So there are ways to really deal damage if your opponent is really focused on jumping. You can also jump up air throw. Kairi doesn't have one, but it works. I found air-to-airing, medium kick or heavy punch does a really good job of just the way the hitbox is, to be honest. Especially when they're on the way up. If you're trying to like air-to-air and you're the first one jumping, this one is a really good button. But if you're too late, jump light kick, if it hits high, or jump medium kick. Like for example, if you look at Garuda, my main, who I use, his jump light kick is really good in these situations. Ooh, because it hits straight up. So it's really good for interrupting sort of jump-ins that are higher than him, right? And like I said, you can jump up air throw, which is really good because you get good damage. You just have to time it a little bit, and you can get it pretty consistently. Garuda probably has some of the best options for dealing with jump-ins. So basically, because you can do crouch fears. Let's see if I can do this here. Okay. This is really difficult. Oh my god. Actually, that's not even a combo. That's not real. I can't do it on this pad, unfortunately. But basically, you can do crouch fierce into super, and then while you're still in the air, get a juggle with this. So it does really good damage, and it really punishes your opponent. Another thing to note too, with air to airs, is if you air to air with a normal, they're technically in a juggle state. So what that means is that you can do a jump in and then instantly jump again and hit a button, and you'll combo, right? And then that normal, I'll show you with Kyrie. Just to give you the full example. So basically, because when you can jump in, you can cancel and do it. And it's a very, very good option for dealing a lot of stuff. You just basically instantly jump. It's kind of like instant overhead sort of thing. If you do a jump and then before they landed, you get another string. Yeah, and pretty much all the characters can do, at the very least, they can do that. Let me try to get it right. There you go. Different characters have different normals, obviously, so some won't work, some will. But like I said, you can cancel. And you can get, like, that's pretty damn good damage, right? And also, because you can also extend that further, right? Let's see if I can go for the full thing. Whoops. One more? Well, I mean, that's going to do a lot. It missed, but you get the general idea. So those are some very high-level strats that you can implement into your game. Let me just see if there's anything else I missed. Do you guys have any questions, by the way? Anything you're unclear about? Anything that you're having trouble dealing with? Because I'll tell you the option to beat it. If not, I'm going to go over a few Gogi decks that need some explanation, because some people misunderstand what happens, and I want to just clear it up. So Sky Dancer is a very, very common deck. And let's get him to stop jumping. And the reason why is because of the first Gogi here. So EX Arrow. What EX Arrow does is it gives you a full screen jump. Okay? You press down, up, and you get it. When you see that flip, that's the EX Arrow at work. Okay? And from here, puts you right in front of the opponent. Okay? If you press up forward, you'll cross up. So, but the thing is, it's actually harder. Oh, there you go. Yeah. It helps if you hold the direction too to cross up. But it's very powerful, as you can see, because you get a free jump in from full screen, and you can combo whatever it is. Right? So it's very good for getting over fireballs, like a zoning game, and then trying to, get space, right? Very, very strong tool. Obviously, the ways to beat it are the normal and tier options, and the thing is, you're committed to this, right? So it's a long time coming down. So you should definitely be prepared. Once you see EX arrow activated, look for what they usually use it for is for staying plus on mix-ups. This is like an instant meaty, right? So you have to worry about that too. What am I gonna say here? Obviously, other characters can use it better than others, or other characters can use this better than other characters can. But it's a very, very strong tool, especially for newer players getting used to the game. Obviously, other people that are better will open you up and blow up your jump in full screen. Especially because when you're like here and you can't get in, usually people are gonna do this, right? So don't feel like it's too good. Another option that people don't understand too well is actually this guard break. Okay, what this guard break does is it's for your universal attack. Okay, so what it is, it's overhead. You can see here it says overhead there, and this is not special cancelable, but this is super cancelable. Okay, and you can hit confirm this if you buffer and you get the hit. You can do it on reaction. Or if you want to make a hard read, you just do it anyway, right? Or you hit confirm late, right? But the thing with the Gogi guard break, what it actually means, every time you land 4 of these, and now it's activated, what it does is that you get guard break on your universal overhead. So what it does, and they're called heart attacks in this game. So what happens is, you get this. And they're stunned. You literally can do anything you want. Unfortunately, you can't repeat it. It just knocks down. That would be too good. So you can do this, run up low, whatever you want. Let's see if I can pull it off. Do big damage. Do whatever you want, right? The thing about these is that if you block it, they're pretty minus. And only if you block it, it's very slow on startup too, right? And you can easily jump at them and make that way too. But that's the basic idea. Oh, actually, another thing I forgot to mention to you guys. That's a high level thing. A lot of people think after you do a jump in, you can only do like low forward into a special. Let's see if I can get it properly. A lot of people think you can only do that kind of stuff, or like 2 lows, 2 chain, into fireball. A high level thing most people need to understand and also practice is running after a jump in. And this is a little harder to do, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. So let's see if I can do it on this. I should be able to do it on this pad. So as soon as you jump and get the hit, you immediately run and press your light button or your button that you want to pressure in, okay? So as soon as you land, you do a run, and you have to make sure you're running, your button hits late. Let's see if I can get this. I cannot. There you go. So you basically run instantly as soon as you touch the ground. And that'll let you get basically a full punish on anything you want. There you go. And then you can finish, do the same kind of thing. And basically, like, it's really good for neutral jumps. Just because you get a lot of conversion from it, right? So if you're catching like a whip normal, you can run in, pressure, and get full punish on whatever you just whip punish with an air to air. Even like medium kick, right? So don't think you can only get 2 hits or just 1 to fireball, right? Practice doing the run-in. Very important. Very, very important. Okay. What's another Gogi here? Oh, okay. So put Skydancer on as well. So because let's see here. Illusion. So what illusion does, because a lot of people don't understand this. And it looks weird if you never played the game as well. So illusion, what it does is it basically gives you an instant like reset of the situation. Basically, after a certain amount of hits in a combo, like for example here, you'll get an instant recovery. And the thing is, it only saves you. You can only use this one. It only uses it once per round, and it's not automatic. It happens whenever the counter for the illusion appears, and usually it's after a sequence, after like one super. I think it depends on damage and hits as well. So if you're trying to bait illusion, you can like do something to. You can do like a big combo. Let me see if I can activate it without spending super. You see? There you go. So it activated, right? So the thing is, if you see that they have illusion in the bottom right corner activated, ready to go, you generally don't want to spend super unless you want them to, or unless you want them to spend it, because you're going to do something very damaging with the next one afterwards, right? Because you still get damage, of course, right? Because even if you break out of this, you're still eating most of the hits of the super, right? And then so once they don't have illusion, so once they use it up, the next time you land a hit, well, let's hear. Next time you land a hit, you can go for the full punish with the big damage, right? Like I said, it only works once per round, and you have to build it up. Okay, what's another one here? Oh, this one people get confused about too. So, Nightmare. I use this with Garuda exclusively because it fits him really well, I believe. But what this does, so energy drain. So what happens with this is that as soon as you knock the opponent down, you steal their super meter. Okay? You have to be right next to them. You see that the black aura that surrounds them? That means you're stealing meter. Okay? Right? If you stand here, you're not going to steal anything. You have to make sure like the light or the aura appears, and you see that your meter turn purple. Okay? It means you're stealing. You're a thief. And the thing is, you can still get it if you jump. As long as you're close enough, right? You'll still get the steal. Okay? Even on throws. Right? It's all only about that if they're on the ground. Okay? That's why it works really well with Skullomania, because this slide actually gives you a hard knockdown, and you're already sliding and you're close to them while they're down. So you're gonna steal a lot of meter really fast from them, okay? Another thing, so what basically once you've absorbed enough super meter, you'll get super or soul drain to activate. And what soul drain does is something scary as hell and very difficult to beat once you've activated this, okay? So what it does is when you're close, you will steal health from the opponent. So you'll steal a lot of health from them. So basically what that means is anything you do where you're close and they're standing, you'll steal health. You'll also steal super meter as well. You can see their life and meter going down, right? But you'll also still steal if you're close, right? See in that moment there? Let's see if I can get this split off. There you go. So that's why stuff like grabs, the whole time you're grabbing them, it'll build that little bit extra damage because of the suck. So if you have a throw that is long animation, like Garuda's for example, like his forward throw or Kyrie's back throw, look how much health you just stole from a throw, right? So for comebacks, this is really good, right? Moves that keep you close, like Tatsu, it's going to build a little extra damage. Right? Very, very good. Very good for command grabs. That's why it works so well for Skullomania, because it puts you in a spot where you're going to be grabbing them for a while, and they're going to be right next to you. Let's see if I can get this to work. So the whole time, right? So that steals a lot. And even this too, right? You're going to steal a lot of meter. right? And I believe this actually works for Raging Demon too. Yes, it does. So Raging Demon does a lot of damage. It's way more. Scullo Dream. So that's a very strong thing to do. Ghost obviously turns you invisible. Most people know that. Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is an interesting deck. A lot of people, no one uses it that I've seen. I've seen it on Crackerjack a few times. I've seen it on Darun. Darun uses it pretty well. But what a lot of people don't know about this is because it gives you a full screen teleport, okay? It teleports right in front, and you get a slide. And the thing most people don't know is that if you hold forward, you don't get a slide. You have to kind of tap on it, and you get a run in combo, which is really nice. So you can still run with this deck. It just gives you sort of more mobility, especially for a slower character like Darun, right? You full screen teleport, you can grab them. You can full screen teleport SPD, if I can do it. Which is scary as hell. But it can be a bit predictable because there's a moment where he does like a little anticipation before teleporting. Okay? If you do it right next to the opponent, you don't get anything. But you can do it really fast. And you're not invincible by any means, so. Turn on progressive by accident. Classic, okay. Anyway. So that's teleport for you. And you can actually fake it. I didn't even notice that. So you can do it earlier to kind of fake the teleport coming, right? But it looks like you can't. You have to do grab, basically. And that's kind of interesting. You can fake teleport with the grab, because you hear the sound. So you do it, and then you press grab immediately after you input the throw. Okay, that's such a good fake. So we know that now. What else is there? One thing to understand, too. Oh, and so this is for new players. So what people have a lot of trouble with in this game, early on especially, is dealing with Hades. And some decks have Hades, but what it generally does is it gives you armor. It gives you super armor in the game, okay? So what Hades does is it gives you infinite armor. It's never gonna go away, okay? The downside for the opponent is that they can't block. Or they can't stop this from happening. They can still block, of course, but they take extra damage if they have Juggernaut active. So if they get hit, it does more damage than if you were without the Hades, okay? Things that beat it, stuff that knocks down. So sweeps, everyone can do this. And the thing is, you don't want to do like a light, because the thing is, when you get hit, there's hit stun. So it does slow the move down. So if you do this though, they can usually interrupt before they get knocked down. That's why you want to do like immediate sweep. Or like medium kick here. Don't start with like a full chain, because they'll blow you up before that even happens. Supers also work really well, but they have to knock down. Grabs are also a very good option too. So back throw, forward throw, of course, right? Command grabs really good in this situation. They don't take the extra damage when they're not having the activated, the armor activated. So you can do a super like Darun's classic. So launch him, right? That's a good way to defeat that. The only other thing I can think of would be the one high-level way to blow this up, and I'll use a character I'm familiar with. So for Garuda's example, is if they have this activated, right? Let's say Oh, okay, I said it's a CPU. So, let's say for example, on block, they hit crouching, medium, kick. Okay, if you whiff punish them, okay, I have to set them to guard. Let me see if I can, actually you know what, I'll make him whiff a sweep. Just so I can get this example down for you guys. So, you can see, he'll interrupt, because he'll have the super armor. So, what you can do, if you can make them whiff a normal, or if you interrupt them during a string. Hey Clinton, what's going on? Thanks for saying hi. I can record this properly. So yeah, if you can make them whiff something when they have the armor, you should figure out a punish where you can spend bar and basically kill them or do a shit ton of damage. So for example, because if you do, like for example, if you do a move, you can do something like that. That will launch it, right? Like, so they just ate 60% for throwing out something with armor, right? So let me just try to do that. I'm trying to make it, because in the actual game it's a lot easier to make this work. Kind of late cancel, basically. Anyway, that's the basic idea. You want to figure out a way to blow up the option. If they whiff like a sweep or whatever it is. That's a good way to show you guys. So if you do max range low forward. And see how much damage he ate just for doing a whiff? So there's definitely weaknesses, or not weaknesses I'd say, but, well, they are technically, but there are problems for having armor. And because you just eat so much damage, okay? Oh, and one other high level thing you can do, I totally forgot about. I need to set them to not get hit immediately. So it is links, okay? Oh, let's turn off haste. We don't need that. We need a normal body. So, because the low level way to combo is you do, you know, chains, right? You do chains, or you do one normal and two move, like that, right? When you get better at the game, you're gonna do links, and links can be anything. You can manually link, but usually if you're doing a light to medium, you want to chain it because it's just gonna hit all the time, right? But that's how you want to link medium, and then medium. It's gonna give you the link, right? And they're pretty easy to do. There's no links that are really that hard. The hardest link I've found is probably going backwards. So what I mean by that is like you do crouch medium punch, or you do like this, and then you go back into light kick into medium kick. That's probably the hardest. But it's just a comfortable thing. Right? So if you miss it, you just slightly delay. See?